Hi babe, welcome back to my channel. Today in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how I get my brow lamy and tint at such an affordable price just at the comfort of your home. So let's get right into it. First, I'm going to be cleansing the brows using this lash soap from my sister's brand, and I'm just going to be using this spoolie just to give it a good cleanse. You can use lash soap or you can use alcohol, just anything to clean the brows. And to remove our residue, I'm going to be going in with these cotton pads. And this is the star of the show, my at-home brow lamy and tint kit. And here is everything that's included in the kit. But first we're going to start off using the glue bum, which is going to lay the brow hairs down so it won't move and will set it in place. So first what I'm doing is just going in with a spoolie and just kind of brushing my hairs to where I wanted them to be. Now I'm using my wide comb, and I'm just going to use the flat side of the wide comb and scrape a little bit of the glue on the back of it. And now I'm applying the glue bum evenly throughout my brows. Then once I'm done with that, I'm going to be using the other side of the wide comb, and which is a comb part, and I'm going to comb the glue throughout my brows. And this is a before and after. And now I'm just going to repeat the same steps on the other brow. After I'm done, this is how the brows look. Now it's time for the lamy part, and first step we're going to be going in with the perm solution, and I'm going to be using these applicators to apply the product to my brows. And I get a small amount out of the container, and then I apply an even layer across the brows. If you are using this on yourself, it's okay to dip back into the container, but if you are using this for clientele purposes, I would suggest putting it on the plate that's provided. So once I put the lamination on my brows, I'm going to be going in with this plastic wrap and letting the brows process for at least 5 minutes. You can do it 5 to 8 minutes. It just depends on how thick or how light your brow hairs are. After 2 to 3 minutes or so, I go back in just to comb the brows into shape that I want again, and then I put the wrap back on and let the process of the time finish. After it's completely done processing, I take the remaining of the plastic wrap off, and I go in with a dry cotton pad and wipe off the excess of the first solution. Next, I'm going to be going in with step 2, which is the fixation, and I'm going to do the same steps, which is apply a thin layer of step 2 all across the brows evenly, and then I'm going to let it process for the same amount of time for both brows. This is optional, but now I'm going in with a small spoolie or dental brush, whatever you want to call it, and I'm just combing the brow hairs up into my desired look, up and over, to get my desired brow shape. And now I'm going to put plastic wrap back on, and we're going to let it process for the same amount of time. And once that's done, I'm going to do the same steps and wipe off the excess using a dry cotton pad. Now I'm going in with step 3, which is the cleanser, and I'm just removing the remaining of the fixation that we used, and this is just to clean off the brows. And now I'm using a dry cotton pad just to get the excess amount before we start mapping out our brows. Also, with step 3, you can also use micellar water if you don't have the cleanser, or if you don't have my full kit, use the micellar water instead. Now it's time for brow mapping, but first I'm going to be combing my brow hairs into my desired shape before I start mapping the brows out. And now this is the brow string, and y'all, this is a sample of mine, which is not on my site yet, but will be on my site very soon. So first I'm going to be starting off marking straight down the middle of my face. Next, I'm going to be intersecting this diagonal line, and what I am doing is putting this diagonal line right under my brows, and this is going to be the first outline of the brow. After doing this, you should see an X that's crossed at the first line that we created in the center of the face. This next line is where the tail will end, and so to help you create the line, start at the end of the nose up to the end of the eye, all the way till it meets the end of the brow. Now this line is going to be for the arch, and I'm still at my nostrils. I'm just moving up to the end of my cornea, and this is going to help me create the line for my arch. And it should still be a diagonal line that you're creating. For the last line, it's just to create a line where we will be stopping the brow tint from going past. And the line is straight up in the middle of the nostril and a little bit above where the eye starts. I hope that makes sense to y'all. A tip to also help y'all, make sure the two boxes that you guys can see in the front, make sure those two boxes are even, and that is how you know that you did it right. And now for the remaining lines, what I am doing is just creating the end of the tail, and I'm doing it in a curving motion. This is optional. You can use a string or you can use the brow paste that I'm going to be using later in the video. And to create the outline of the tail for the top of the brow, I'm going to be crossing the line at the bottom and connecting it with the middle line between the face, in the middle of the face. And now I'm doing the same for the other side. Hopefully this side you can guys see it a little bit better. I am crossing the bottom line, and then I'm going to connect the line that I'm doing now and connect it with the line in the middle of my face. And I know the tail looks a little crazy right now, but I'm going to go back and fix it once I'm done completing the other line. For the top outline, I'm doing the same steps that I did on the bottom, but to help you guys, I'm connecting all the lines on the top. So you can see I'm connecting the line in the middle, the line that's at the head of my brow, and the line that's connected to my arch. To complete the tail, I'm going to be connecting the tail line at the bottom with the line that's in the arch and connecting it with the middle line in the middle of the face. Y'all can see I messed up with the line for the tail in the first place, and so now I'm just going back in to fix it, and that's why I am lowering the lines, and that's why the X between the middle of the face is lower. And once I'm done, this is what the outline looks like. I know it can look kind of scary at first, but once you get the hang of it, you good, girl. But now what I'm doing is I'm going to define the line even more, and what I'm using is my brow paste. This is also a sample that's going to be on my site soon, so I'll be on the lookout for that. But the only thing I'm doing is just outlining the lines that we've already created for the bottom and the top of the brow. And this is just to help me see the lines that I don't need to go outside of for when it's time for me to tint the brows. Another thing, it also helped me to curve out the top of the arch as well. When I'm using the brow string, I can't define the arch as much, so this really helps me to curve out my arch, as y'all can see. But this is how it looks once I'm done. Now it's time for me to wipe off the remaining of the lines that I don't need, and all I use is some micellar water just to clean up the shape, and I'm just using a spoolie. Here are some other tips to help y'all. If y'all think the brows are too wide, remove like I am on the bottom, and this will thin the brows out. If you think the brows are too thin, then go inside the brow and remove the excess of the paste from the inside of the brow. And this is just me showing you guys the difference that it makes when you do clean up the brow. This is what it looks like with it clean, and this what this side look like, the side I haven't cleaned yet. Once I'm done cleaning up the brows, this is what it looks like, and now it's time to finally tint the brows. Today I'm going to be using two different tints. I am using the color Mocha and the color Onyx, and I'm going to be mixing them together with my developer, and I'm going to be creating this dark brown color. So what I did is one dot of each, and now I'm mixing all three together until I get it to the consistency that I need it to be. And this is what it should look like once it's done being mixed. So now I'm grabbing a little bit on both sides of the angle brush, and now I'm doing kind of a swiping slash pushing motion, and I'm starting off with the tail of the brow, the outline of the tail of the brow. And please try to take your time doing this, but don't take too long. But yeah, take your time doing this so you won't go outside of the lines. But if you do go outside of the lines, you can just use a lip wand just to clean up the excess. Once the tails are done, now it's time to start on the middle section, and I'm just doing the same thing. I'm starting on the outside, and now I am filling in the middle, and the whole time I am still doing this swiping slash pushing motion to make sure that the tint is really throughout all of my hairs. And this is me just cleaning up the outline just to make sure that I didn't get any tint outside of the lines. And I felt like I was missing some spots, so I went back in with a little bit more tint just to fill in spots I feel like they were missing. Now I am doing the same steps that I did on the other brow. For the front, I don't add as much product, so what you guys are seeing is me stapling a little bit of product. You can see even on the brush it's not that much, but what I do is add the product to the bottom of the line, and I just drag it up like you see that I am doing now. This is going to create an ombre effect for the beginning of the brow. And you guys already know, to make the shape more defined or to clean up any messes, I'm going back in with my lip one, and I'm just going to use the lip one just to clean up any mistakes that I've made. Once I'm done adding the product to the front, I'm going back in with this small spoolie and I'm just brushing throughout the front of the brows, and that's creating more of an ombre effect as well. And my camera died, so I had to switch to my Canon G7X. So excuse the quality of this camera. On this camera it look a little bit more brown, my brows do. But anyways, now I am waxing, you guys, and what I mainly do is just outline. You know how you use concealer to outline your brows? That's is a way that I apply my wax, and I am using soft wax. Once I apply it, I use the wax strip to pull it off. And the key to applying your wax is you're supposed to apply it that the way that the hair is growing, and you're supposed to pull the strip off in the opposite direction. And I hope that made sense to y'all. And this is how it looks, but once I'm done doing the bottom, I do the same thing. And I like to do mine like this so I won't apply too much product and mistakenly take off hair that don't need to be taken off. So I do the dots first, and then I make the line, and then I rub the wax strip a little bit, do it a little firm so that the wax will come all the way off. And once I do that, I pull in the opposite direction again that I applied the wax. And this is how I look. If I see any residue, I'm going to fold the paper and just take it off like I'm doing in the video. And once I'm done, this is how it looks. And I also do the middle of the brows as well. And once I do the middle, I do the same. I pull the same for all of the strips. But once I pull that off, I'm going to do the other brow as well. Also, I didn't use it in this video, but usually I use a skin protectant before I wax, just so it won't take any skin off. And what I use is, like, you can use any pressed powder. That's what I do. I use a simple pressed powder from e.l.f. and I just apply a little bit before I actually apply the wax, and that's just for it to be used as a skin protectant. Once I'm done waxing, I go in with this wax off, and this is just to get off any necessary wax residue and stickiness that's still on the skin. So what I do is actually I sometimes apply it around the brows like I'm doing now, or sometimes I would just cover the full brow. But in this video, I'm just outlining the brow using the wax off before I wipe it completely off. So moisturize the brows, make sure to apply the last step, which is the oil. And this is just for nutrition for the brows, but in this video I also used it because I am about to use my razor to take off any hair that I missed while I was waxing. I don't recommend this. I would suggest using aloe vera gel or any type of gel, or even some type of moisturizer before you actually go in with the razor. Also, this is an optional step. You do not have to do this once you're done waxing. I just do it because I want my brow shape to be as sharp as possible, because I do not use concealer to sharpen up the shape like some people do. If you want to add concealer at the bottom, you totally can. It's up to you. Once I completed that, this is the final look of the brows. I just love doing brows because I hate filling my brows in every day with a brow pencil, but honestly I'm just so obsessed with it, and I'm obsessed with my kit. And I hope this video helped you guys out. If you purchased my kit, I hope this video helped you, and make sure to shop with me, y'all. I love y'all, and I can't wait to do more videos. I love you. Bye.